Alrighty, what's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody is having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. Guys, I have been sick. We're going to make this a short video, but I want to come on and share some thoughts here that I think is going to benefit everyone. My voice really isn't back by any means, but it is the first day I'm not, I'm able to talk without having like a coughing attack. So figured let's start the videos back up. All right. And if you didn't know I was sick, I'm sorry. I didn't really tell anyone. It just kind of happened. But guys, the market had a decent red day today, and VIX does look like it is about to spike, or at least can spike. But we also have things set up to where if they do come a little lower, like again, it's the same thing we were talking about like, 2 weeks ago now. Downside is still limited. Okay? I just wanted to really tell everyone this. This is my opinion. Get ready for the market not to go anywhere over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Just get ready. That's the opinion that, I really wanted to share here. I don't think the markets... All right. Now that that is out the way, I don't think the market is going to be going anywhere. I think you have, a lot of people bearish right now. Okay. And then, everyone was bearish the other day. We saw what happened there. And then, go back another couple days, like a week earlier, you had everybody bearish over here. If you have another big red day, fear and greed index comes back down here where it bottomed. This is what I was trying to tell you guys. Both times we saw this thing down here near extreme fear, we saw the market bottom. Why do people want to clown on me for it? Like I'm a guy who over the last, 4 to 5 years have been recording these videos on, well, not the whole 4 to 5 years. I've been making these videos. It's, always been about my trading and stuff like that. I've been doing this for, we're going to say at least 2 years. We've been making these daily updates. I hope you guys have been enjoying them. I'm a little sick today. Not a little sick. I'm decently sick still. But my temperature is going up and down today, which, before then I was kind of just hovering around like 101 to 102. So that sucked. But yeah, my voice normally isn't like this. I'm just sick, I promise. But guys, over, the time that I've been making these videos, I've had no incentive the entire time to get anything wrong. Okay. I'm telling you, I have had no incentive to get things wrong, or to talk out my butt or anything like that. I don't make a lot of money off the ad revenue. It's really not all that. I don't know why people, think YouTubers make a lot. I, have a high, thing. And, I'm just going to tell you, it's not something that's going to pay the bills. It's just like I have, what is it called? A high. It's like when the advertiser will pay you more per viewer because you guys are finance people. Okay, like it's a high paid niche, I guess we'll call it. And I'm telling you, it's not that much. I've had no incentive this whole entire time to get anything wrong. And I've, tried very hard not to get things wrong. I provide theses every single week on where I think price can head. Almost every video I give a thesis. And then, I give, my trade ideas as they come. I give my high conviction ideas as they come. I give my bottom calls as they come. Well, I'm not even going to say a lot of people don't like it when I make the bottom calls. Nobody ever likes it when I make the bottom calls. They all want to come on here and roast your boy Henry. They all want to do it. But at the end of the day, every single time they see the market rise from the ashes and rise from the disbelief, okay? And then maybe sometimes you base out, but you see them just rise through the ashes. And they're like, oh, damn, those things Henry was showing, they actually do mean something. The market actually doesn't crash when everyone thinks it's going to crash. Whoa, look at that. Oh, there's a giant head and shoulders pattern over here in SPY. as the market is at extreme fear here and here. Daily RSIs are already at 30 on a lot of tickers. Oh, and you think the market's going to fall a lot? Not how that works, bucko. NASDAQ McClellan Oscillator. Oh, down at market crash levels where it normally bounces. Oh, all right, guys. Like, the things, clown on me all you want for showing these types of things. I'm going to tell you right now, I only do it because they work, I promise. And I got no incentive to get things wrong. All right? You have IWM looking like this. You come a little bit lower, it's not going much lower. All right? Like, you come a little bit, you get a spike over here on VIX. All right? If it comes back into this area, okay, I think it's going to get sold. Maybe it gets a little bounce. All right? Maybe even gets higher. But I promise that fear and greed index that I think it was just at 36, that thing's going to go right back into extreme fear under 25. And then you are going to see a big bounce come again. I do not think it's a time right now to be, crazy, just invested into the market. I'm not talking about with your money, just like with your mind. I do think the market's probably going to go sideways for 1 to 2 weeks, like that opinion I talked about. I made that conclusion today. I was like, market probably is going to go down, but it's not going to go much down. It's probably not going to do a whole lot of anything. It's probably going to keep doing what it's been doing, which has been absolutely nothing for quite some time now. All right. So, like, honestly, I won't be surprised if we get something like this. Maybe it takes a day. All right. Get a little doji candle there tomorrow. Maybe you just fall and the floor gives out. I have no idea. Come down here at the 500. Everyone loses their freaking mind. And then, boom, it comes right back up and you get over here. Okay? And I'm just going to say, if you, test this series of lower highs here, eventually it's just going to snap. All right? Like, these lower highs are not going to hold up eventually. And, I imagine after this next one right here, it would go something like that. And here's another opinion for you. I think the market's eventually going to make new highs. All right. I do think that is going to be the case. I'm just going to say, with how things are set up, I don't think we're going to go massively down from here. Like, this is like, guys, look at this. Look where it's at right now. You notice how, like, even to get this move right here. Okay. You started out from up here. All right. Like, you come down here, guys, I'm telling you, it bottoms out every time when you start getting down into oversold territory. If that happens with the daily RSI over here on the S&P 500 NASDAQ, that is the official, line in the sand right there. Like, it's going to start really bottoming and bouncing. That's what happens if you, like, who cares if you hold the golden pocket at this point? I mean, I kind of care. I like the golden pocket. I don't want him to get all hurt. Don't make the golden pocket all butt hurt. Make them useful over here. All right. Better bounce off these lines I got on my charts. Yep. Got a gaps in right here though. All right. So if you don't hold, all right, 576.74 gap over here, you're going to be losing the 0.786 fib. But at that point, downside is still, it's probably going to be like right over here. Daily RSI is going to come down here. If you get this move, I'm like pretty positive. All right, let's see. Moved from here. The next day, 47, 54. What is that? It's moving like, it's moving a good amount, okay? Give us 2 more red days. This thing's going to be oversold. Bottoms in. QQQ. It's a little higher up. It's kind of the same. IWM. Like, this is what's really giving it away here. IWM, it looks ready to fall out of this bear flag here. All right, it's kind of perfect rejection. Twice in a row now. First time rejected the 9. Second time rejected the daily 21 EMA, as well as our 226.64 resistance here. You literally rejected a picture perfect here. You can't flip what used to be demand. Okay, demand. It's now into supply. You can't flip it back into demand. It's not working. It's picture perfect. And you're consolidating this bear flag, break down from the flag, comes down to 215. Your bottom's probably going to be in. All right. DIA has the same look. You just really don't want to give up this 416.44 over there because on the weekly time frame, that is the last swing low. All right, guys. So I don't really want to go over things too in detail here, but I am going to give away the next big play. All right. After we finish the indices. So to conclude the thoughts on the indices, guys, VIX, I do think it's probably about a spike. It looks like it's about a spike. IWM really looks like it could break down from this bear flag. Support on IWM is going to be 219.60, 218.07, and 215. 215.20 to be exact. All right. You're watching that lower, you know, I mean, it's not much of a trend line there. But, you know, as you can see, start breaking under 219.60. You're probably going to start taking out the lows over here. And then you could start coming down to 215.20. All right. Like, I do think things go down here and VIX gets that spike. But I don't think it's going to be a lot. And I don't think it's worth stressing about. And I know for a fact, you know, a group of, you know, top callers and Henry doubters are about to come out of the woods again for like the third time in the past month, and they're about to be proved wrong again because they're not here when it's actually falling. They're here right on the worst day. All right, which means if we get one of those days, they're going to come back. Okay, they're always there right before the thing turns around. And I'm telling you, you know, when everyone thinks it's going to be one direction, it never is going to be that one direction. You know, DIA, give me this action right here. Hold 416.44, please. I don't want to see that breached. All right. And you probably get bobbed back up pretty quick over here. Come over to QQQ. Let's talk about some support and resistance. Okay. Let's take off the trend line right there. You're right here in the golden pocket. You don't want to lose 510. 509.29 is going to be your support down there. But if that doesn't hold, guys, you're talking about revisiting the January 2nd low over here. Okay. That's going to be a 505.71. That's going to have the golden pocket from this whole most recent advance. All right. It could be seen here on the weekly chart. That's at this point, we're retracing the whole move right here. All right. And that is what's going to be right over here around 505.50. And that's why I say, guys, you know, you come down, who cares? Let it happen. Let it happen. Just take a chill pill. You know, don't stress about it. All right. Have some cash. Do not be, you know, fully loaded right now. You know, I just don't think it's time to, you know, there's time to, you know, swing big and make a lot of money. And there's times to take a step back. All right. I've given you guys a lot of opportunities over the past few months to you know, swing big there and then sit back and relax. And then I'll just keep telling you when those opportunities are coming. We got another one we're going to talk about right after this. It's going to be the first ticker we talk about after go over SPY after this. All right. But, you know, I don't think it's a time to really be, you know, I'm not saying invested is in money. And I do agree that too right now because things are pretty uncertain. I think we go a little bit lower. I think we're going to get an opportunity to, again, you know, grab some nice dips. All right. The next 1 to 2 trading sessions, most likely after how this closed today. You know, you see price down here at 505.50 on NASDAQ. Start going shopping. All right. Start going shopping on the names you like. I'll point out what I like in this video. Okay. You know, support though, 514 is the 0.618 fib. All right. Test 509.29. You broke underneath the 0.786. At that point, you're probably going to come down to 505.50. All right. I do think that's probably going to happen. Okay. You know, if we swing down over here, if you start breaching 510, I expect you to come down here. On the upside is resistance 516.64, 519.65, 522.86. Already went over IWM, SPY over here, guys. You got this trend line here. We'll watch it. Okay, I don't think it's going to be too important. All right, but we will watch it. Now we'll make it like right here. That looks like a nice one. Like that. What if we do this? Whoa. Oh, it's getting pretty crazy. I like the first one we had. There you go. All right, it's back to normal. Over here in SPY, guys, you're also in the golden pocket, 0.618 fib. From this whole bounce we've had recently, golden pocket is between 576 and 583. You know, 583 we'll call it. But right over here, you have the 0.618 fib. You're going to have 586.12 support right below. Found buyers here, buyers here, buyers here. It is going to be strong support. Like, really don't expect a lot to happen over here. Like, don't. Okay. You keep finding buyers over here. You can lose it a little bit, but at the end of the day, they seem to keep dragging you back up. All right. They've lost it on every single one of these. This is not the level we should be using then. All right. We'll do this. There we go. All right. In that zone, expect buyers to start stepping back in. We'll actually take that one out. We'll go like that. We'll go like that and use that level instead. 580.91 down there. Support, guys, 586.12. Lose 584.50. We're probably going to start making your way back down to 590 or 580.91. And then from there, guys, you have this 576.74 gap. But again, I mean, a lot of people are going to be looking at it. All right. You just got this kind of wide open space here. A lot of people are going to get real bearish if you lose the spot over here. But, you know, big head and shoulders pattern, I'm telling you, they're not going to let this thing play out. If you get another dip, fear and greed index is back down to extreme fear. All right. IWMDIA, they're already kind of down there. Like, they're not going to go much lower. You know, I think downside is limited. I would say don't expect much over the next 1 to 2 weeks in the market. I don't think you're going to get much out of it. I think there are swings to be, you know, traded, but I'm just saying overall, I think we're going to have a pretty choppy market. I don't think it's going to make much sense. And it is what it is. Okay. Now let's talk about what's really setting up and I'm getting, you know, excited about. Now, congratulations to anybody who did.
That was easy.
Nail this over here, guys. We had 2 rounds over here on NVDA. All right. We had bought in on this day right over here. It was our buy zone between here and here, between 127.67 and 131.26. That was our buy zone. Why? You had the golden pocket here. You had a break and retest zone over here. You were breaking and retesting. You can see it on the weekly chart pretty well as well. All right. You had the weekly 21 sitting down here. You had the 0.618 fib. You were in this little falling wedge over there. And then most importantly, you came down and on that exact day, well, it was actually the next day, you ended up smacking our, you know, level over here on the daily RSI that you've been bouncing back at every single time, guys. I give you a lot of these opportunities here on this channel for absolutely no cost to you guys. You know, if you're someone who drives yourself crazy with constant trading and maybe things, you know, just aren't working out like how you want them to, guys, I feed you a lot of high conviction setups here on this channel for no cost to you. Please take advantage of them. You know, I just want to talk to people with smaller accounts. I am telling you, if you get away from the smaller accounts, if you like, let's look at it this way. You have to get out of a small account to really start growing. I know that sounds really stupid. But I'm telling you right now, what I see a lot of the times from, you know, people share the smaller accounts and the screenshots and stuff like that. It just looks like people are taking a bunch of paper cut losses and you have yourself spread way too thin over here. All right. You know, if you only got $1,000 in the account and you want to grow it, like, you know, like you could make money that is going to, you know, really help you. Like, I'm talking more money than you'll make at work. Okay. But to get to that, you have to get to that. And I know, again, that is one of those things that sounds stupid, but I'm telling you right now, I give you these opportunities for free, absolutely no cost to you on this channel, where you can just literally buy 3 to 4 months out, catch this 100, 200% gainer here. All right. The most recent was NVIDIA, but what did I give you before? We're literally talking the Avgo bottom right here. I gave you right here. I gave you the whole week over here. I'm pounding the table. And I'm like, guys, I don't think the opportunity is coming. And what happens? It comes right when I least expect it. And then it skyrockets. All right. You had that one. I'm not saying I caught that because I didn't. But, you know, I caught this little thing over here. Maybe not these last few days, but I caught this little thing right here. All right. But all of these things, okay, they are enough to buy 3 to 4 months out, calls three to 4 months out, and you could make that 100 to 200% on your money. That right there is $1,000 into $2,000 or $3,000. Just literally sit back and wait another 2 weeks. I guarantee another opportunity on one of these main tickers that we cover here on this channel. It will present itself. All right. It will present itself. And then that we're just going on the low ball side. that $2,000 now could turn into $4,000. And then on the next one, the 4,000 turns into 8,000. Okay? You know, before Avgo, I don't know exactly the order, but I gave you Goog. All right? I gave you Goog right over here, right before this little, you know, blast off. I gave you Goog also over here, all right? Or right before this blast off over here, I gave you Goog. I gave you Amazon over here. Clear as day, break and retest. I pounded, this is the one I was pounding over here. All right? I gave you Microsoft well before it took off. Well before this happened. I gave you it on this day right here. Right here. It was this day right here. You've got a pullback opportunity as well if you didn't get the first one. Okay? I gave you Apple before it took off. Literally before it took off. I'll give you the exact date. You know why I know? Because we had this trend line. We were getting a break and retest. It was right over here. Okay? Or it was on this one. Yeah, either way, it was still right here, no matter where I had that. But yeah, it was right there. You know, I gave you Tesla. This was a huge one. I gave you it before it took off. Okay? I literally told everyone about it. Right? It was the Trump trade. And then we consolidated for 3 weeks, and I pounded the table on it. Somewhere over here, I said we're going to have to sit on it and wait. I said I'll come back to it. And then before it took off, again, it was one of these days. I said, I think it's about to go. And I'll give you these high conviction trades as we go, but these are the things that can make you a clean 100 to 200% on 3 to 4 month out calls. And that is how you grow the small account. You don't sit there having a bunch of different trades, different small trades. You don't have short dated calls because some Discord rooms tell you that this is the way. All right, I'm telling you, I am decent at the game, and I am terrible with shorter dated calls and puts. It does not seem to work in my favor. All right, I'm sure I speak for a lot of people out there when I say this. Short dated calls and puts suck. You don't want to play them. Okay, what is sustainable, what you can do is you could just literally wait. I promise, I'm almost always pounding the table on one stock. You have time to get ready for them. And you can actually use these to get 5, 10Xs, 20Xs over time. Not all in one of those trades, but you keep compounding the money that you're willing to throw at them. All right? So stop paper cutting losses. Stop having them. All right? And I know, again, that's one of those stupid things. Like, he's just telling me to stop doing it. How do I actually stop doing it? It is simple as stop overthinking it. You know the answer, all right? Just do what you know you're just avoiding, which, you know, is a lot of the time you're sitting there over trading. If you're continuously losing money, take a step back. It's literally not going to hurt your performance. It'll help the performance if you're continuously losing, all right? I'm not one of the people who's going to sit there and tell you, oh, go to paper trading. Go paper trade for a few months. I don't think that's the way. I think you have to slap yourself in the face and you got to get back in the game in that nice and controlled manner. And I'm telling you, these opportunities I just showed you, I just went through 6 or 7 of them. Those were only the past 2 months. All right. Imagine if you caught all those. I did. People following along, you did too, and you caught a lot more. I gave you ARM. I pounded the table over here on ARM. All right, where was it? Right here. It was a pretty nice one as well. Like, these are things that, I play calls 2 months out. That's my sweet spot. And I'm able to do what I just said, that clean 100 to 200% on these moves. And you can make money on them. And they're the tickers over here that are going to be moving with the market. Stop playing these dumb tickers. You don't need to, why am I, looking, and why are you playing sound calls? Okay? Sound is cool and all. But what does it show me? It shows me that you're sitting there chasing the shiny object. All these options are juiced, and to really make money on them, all right, you can just sit there, buy some time, and hold them. But most people aren't doing that at all. They're not. They're sitting there trying to, really catch all these little moves with the short-dated options. You're chasing the shiny object, all right? You don't need to do that. That's why I just pointed out. All right. These are the main tickers I cover all the time on this channel. Microsoft, Tesla, Google, Amazon, Meta. I think Meta's the only one that's really looking like all right after today. I would have liked you to close above 620. You did not close above 620. Regardless, you do have a nice lower wick over here, whereas nothing else does. So we do definitely have the relative strength over here. Let's get back to the, the next big one over here. Apple, guys, daily RSI is going to be either oversold or down to the spot it's been bouncing at over the past year, maybe 2 years. Over the past year. It's going to be down to the golden pocket here. You have a big break and retest here on the weekly chart. You're going to have the weekly 21 EMA right here. We could see right here, and right here. That is where buyers step back into the equation. All right. Weekly RSI. I'm not saying it's going to, curl up like that. But once we do end up, seeing this thing settle to the downside and then have that first time curling up like over here, we'll get a nice green bar. That's when we'll know we're probably going to have weeks of green after that. Okay. On all of these, you had red. I know right here you had a green, and then you had a big green because you had a big gap down. My apologies. I'm losing the voice. I feel it. But yeah, I mean, you could see right here, once the green started coming back in, you had another green week following that. It is probably definitely going to be that way. You were stuck in consolidation here for 4 to 5 months. You broke out of that. Now you're retesting the top of where you consolidated from in that bullish manner. You had a bullish pennant going on here. Probably about to find buyers. This is a clear as day opportunity to me. And it's one of those opportunities I just spoke about where I'm going to pound the table on something. It's an easy money opportunity, in my opinion. You see 237.23. Maybe even you want to start buying at 240. I'm not a financial advisor. Do whatever you want with your money, all right? But I am someone who, really, like I said earlier, has no incentive, get things wrong. It's been that way for years and years and years now. I'm not paid for this job I do on YouTube or anything like that. I don't even look at it as a job. But I'm definitely going to pound the table on that. I have no incentive to get anything wrong. It's like every single other time this thing has been oversold over here. It's been a buying opportunity. We'll pair oversold conditions with the golden pocket, with a bullish setup over here, a big break and retest. You definitely had an explosive move. And where did the explosive move start from? It really picked up once you broke 237.23. Revisit the breakout point. You're probably going to get buyers stepping back in. It's clear as day money right here, coming from here, probably all the way back up to like 250, 253 over here. That is $15+ that you could be playing over there. We're talking calls 2 months out. You see a $10 move, you're probably making like 70 to 80%. You're making good money on this. That's 150 to 200% right there on your calls. All right. So that's the next big opportunity that I'm seeing. All right. Like I was pointing out earlier, there's times when you should just take a step back. We saw all of our targets play out over here. You literally saw a new all-time high. I don't care what anybody says about this. This is absolutely beautiful. I'm glad I just didn't have to sit through any of this because, I was out. I was completely satisfied with this. All right. Who else made a lot of money off NVIDIA? That was easy. Who else made a lot? That was easy. I'm excited for you. I was very sick, right? But I was also very excited to be up a lot of money. And it kind of made it much easier. Like that first real big day of sickness was also a really big day. So I was like, this actually isn't so bad. It's not so bad at all. Okay. I'm just saying, I do think it's probably going to find its way back up to all-time highs, but I think it's probably going to, consolidate for the time being. You just had a minus 5% day, minus 6% day. This is a minus 10% day. Almost minus 8.5% day. Top to bottom here. That's pretty rough. It's probably not just going to get bought up. I would imagine it would be something like this where we got a few more days of downside and then it consolidates like that and then it gets bought up. But it could also be like this, the one time out of these 6 times over here where we got one of these big red bars from, you know, a swing high, which that is like over here, it's a fresh high. Then you got one of those guys. You know, it could be like this where you gap up, have a 3% day the next day. You'd be somewhere over here, 144. Okay. And then maybe you start getting bought up after that. But, you know, I wouldn't put money on that. If you made money with me over here and then over here, dude, you killed it. All right. That is, you know, we had a big trade to close out the year. I was looking, let's look at it this way. You know, I wanted 2 big trades to end out the year. I really only wanted one. It was going to be Tesla and NVIDIA. What happened? What happened, guys? We called it with Tesla. We caught that shit. And then what did we do? We got to play NVIDIA next and put all of our focus on it. Why? Because they happen at 2 separate times. Okay? We pounded the table over here on Tesla. We nailed Tesla into the end of the year. This was really, you know, how I want to end the year. NVIDIA put the sprinkles on top over here into the end of the year. And then guess what? NVIDIA kicks it off with a bang to start the year. What more can you ask for? Don't be a greedy pig. Pigs get slaughtered. You know, the next one I just pointed out, it's Apple. And if there's one right here that I think is probably going to consolidate instead of fall, it's going to be Meta over here. It's the one with relative strength today. The others did not have that strength. The others were butt ugly. You got Amazon over here. You have a nice, you know, pennant breakout, bull flag breakout, whatever you want to call this. Rejected the golden pocket again, and boom, you're back down to the moving averages. Come over here to Goog. All right, almost got a new high today. Didn't quite hit my alert. Almost got that high. But, you know, as you can see now, you're just coming back down to where you've been dancing around, which is that previous all-time high. Guys, with how this looks, like, I doubt you're going to top like this. You're probably not. You're probably moving higher. Just give it some time. You know, this is what I was saying. The market's probably not really going to be doing a whole lot of anything for a while. You're just going to stay in this range you've been in. And it's going to drive people nuts. Guys, don't let it drive you nuts. Make the big plays and sit back and relax. I'll let you know when it's time to make the big plays again. And I'm telling you right now, you know, Meta is something to look at over here. And then all I'm paying attention to right now is Apple. Okay, Microsoft is kind of still in the same spot down here on the daily RSI that we've been seeing these bounces. Okay, you bounce right here at the 0.786 fib. I'd like this thing to hold, so I'm watching it. You know, as of, you know, what I'm really looking to, you know, get into over here, it's going to be Apple. And I like how Meta is developing over here. I think this thing probably consolidates and then is going to push up. I think we're going to start seeing, you know, push towards 650 finally. I think we got that loan over here. And the last one is Tesla. You know, I'm already in Tesla. I'm just kind of waiting on it. I've, you know, been vocal about it, how this dip is going to be a buying opportunity. I'd say use March calls. That's what I'm personally playing this with. I think it's clear as day going to get bought up. But at the end of the day, you're going to want to be, you know, playing with time on your side. If you could buy 6 months, 12 months out on, you know, 500, 600, 700C, I think you're probably going to do very well. I just think, you know, in the short term, you're probably going to see a little red here. But if you're fine with that, you know, I think it's always a great time to buy on these dips over here. I was vocal about this dip over here being the buying opportunity, this consolidation over here. All right. And now I'm thinking this is the same exact thing over here. I don't know how much lower it goes than what we already got. You know, 358 all the way up to 384. I think that is your buy territory right there. That's your buy zone. All right. So, you know, that's where I think you're going to be making the best buys. And guys, if you can catch a move like this, like, you know, you're playing 3 month out calls, you're playing those March calls, they're still moving like 50% on that move, maybe more. Okay. Like, you know, just wait for it to, like, it's probably going to get a move all at once. You just got to wait for the consolidation to break. Once you start getting it broken, then you have, you know, easy times for like 1 to 2 weeks. That is typically how these Tesla moves go. All right. Consolidation, it's frustrating. Oh, you broke out literally on this day right here. The next 2 weeks were straight up. You could have bought every single dip. All right. And that is how these go. See over here, consolidation is frustrating. All right. But once it starts going, you could buy every single dip. Same thing over here. It's frustrating. And then once it goes, you can buy every single dip. Well, guys, you just got to be patient here. The thing just got a really big all-time high breakout. Chances are it's going to get bought up after this dip, whether it happens here, whether it happens here, whether it happens down here towards like 330. It's going to get bought up at some point, and it's going to make that new high. All right? That is, honestly, big opportunity over here on this dip, in my opinion, over here on Tesla. Let's talk about some chips, guys. Chips did get the breakout. You did get this very ugly bearish engulfing candlestick on the day. I do think it's very likely that we are going to see some consolidation or some further red days over here on SMH. With that being said, I think you get bought up after that dip. I do. And if this thing just really had this big breakout over here, and it's going to mean absolutely nothing, and you're going to come all the way back down here, I'm going to be so flustered. All right? I'm going to be completely honest. I will just be shocked. Because you already broke down. I removed the trend line, but you already broke this trend line. Okay? Where was it? Right over here. You already had a false breakdown. Okay? And then you almost had another one over here. So if you're going to have this breakout, and then you're going to come back into the pennant here, I will be shocked. I'm expecting buyers down here, but at the same time, I think it's done absolutely nothing for a very long time. It would not surprise me to do the thing that's going to surprise me. All right. So, chips in general, I wouldn't expect much right now. I really would not. In the video, I already talked about it, guys. I don't think you got a reason to touch right now. I think it's going to float back up the highs eventually. At the end of the day, we're in a massive range here in between 152.89 and down here at 130. All right. You're right in the middle of the range right there. Probably don't go too much lower there. You're going to retrace the whole move. Golden pocket starts down at 136.75. That's where you could very well be getting buyers stepping in. But I really wouldn't expect this to be a top by any means. Double tops very often do not play out here on the daily and the weekly charts. At the end of the day, you did have one right over here. Okay. Right over here, does this look like something that's going to play out and then you're going to start moving down? No. Worst case scenario, you come down, you have another opportunity over here, freaks everybody out, and then you get to come back up. All right. And then now what do you have? Okay. Do not see what I'm drawing? Up. Handle. Also a big break and retest. All right. I know it looks sloppy, but at the end of the day, you can't be bearish on this move that's happening down right now. You just can't. Even though you really want to. Okay. AMD over here, guys, it was showing strength. Then it was not. All right. It got slammed down there pretty hard. But it was moving up at the very start in the morning. It was looking really good. And then it was not. You got to really get over 132.11 for, my opinion, to really do anything here. That is where you broke down from. That's where you have the weekly 9. Get above there. Then you probably do start testing 137.40, that gap. Probably fill that. Maybe test 144.12. Support 127.51, 121.83. TSM, guys, you finally got that breakout. If anybody was in this, I hope you took some profits with me. You literally got the move we were looking for. This is what I was saying, guys. Don't be a greedy pig. All right, and that's what I'm saying, guys. Some of these setups you could just buy time on. You're gonna get paid. Just sit on it. Just buy time so the theta doesn't kick your ass, and then you get the spike in only a few days. All right, and so what? You had to wait a little while. That's the point of buying time. And then you sit on it until it pays. Some of the setups, it's just, it's already there. You just got to take advantage. All right, MU, this one that just started bouncing back off some NVDA news. NVIDIA is coming out with a lot of partnerships here. But you know, MU over here getting that little pop action. Where did you stall out though? Right there at the 0.786 fib. Look at that. Okay, if you come over here, put extended hours on, I did think you went higher though. No, you did not. No, you did not. But yeah, right there, stalled out in the golden pocket. Got to get above today's high in order to really elevate here. Go like that. All right, guys. Downside watch 97.27. ARM, surprisingly, guys, is the strongest chip name today. It's ARM, ladies and gents. It's ARM. As you could see, ARM, guys, had made a comeback all at once. All right, guys, all at once. This is what I was saying. If you just wait, all right, maybe you didn't sell, all right, over here. Like I sold like half, and then I held the other half. Guess what I was just able to do? I was just able to sell that other half that I was holding on to for a loss for like weeks. I was able to sell right under break even. Insane, guys. I'm talking, you know, like big L turned into not an L at all. And then in the end, I was covered. I sold for, you know, over 100% gains on the other half. And I remember I had January calls and I had February calls, and I had sold all the January calls, maybe some Feb calls. But yeah, I mean, that's the power of buying time. Like, you know, you're on a solid company that's gonna be moving with SPY and QQQ. It's guaranteed. All these tickers I cover, they all move with the indices. Okay, so give it time. Your stock is gonna have movement. Okay, you traded flat / down for weeks, and you came back within 2 days. You had a big old move, and this is what I was saying. When we were down here, I was saying downside is limited, because if you get down to oversold territory, you're going to get a 20-30% move within days. And at that point, the contracts are going to pump. And if you get time, contracts come right back to where you bought them at. All right. So maybe you didn't sell, even though you had the opportunity to sell. You could see right here. Okay. I pounded the table on it right here. It was the day before. Okay. Anybody had a chance to get in the next morning. All right. But this is the big breakout that I was watching for. I know you got up, you know, we're talking 50 to 100%, depending if you had contracts a month, 2 months out, 50 to 100%. If you didn't sell and you bought right here, guess what? If you had February contracts, yes, some theta decay went by, your contracts came right back to where you bought them at. You know how I know? Because they did them for me. So congratulations if you held on. And this is why I say you buy time. You have to be buying time. Because, you know, I'm going to be honest, you set yourself up to really not lose it. I know that sounds terrible. Oh, you don't know how to take a loss? I'm going to tell you something better. I don't really lose. Like, I really don't lose too often. I'm going to be completely honest. You know what I do lose on almost every single time? Short-dated options. I don't have a good time. Oftentimes, I'll see them run like 100%. And because, you know, I'm so used to trading, you know, further out contracts, dude, I just won't sell. I just won't sell. Most recent one, oh my God, it was this thing. It was this guy right here. All right. And I caught, it was this day right here. The thing was up like 400 or 500% on me. I didn't sell. I was like, oh my God, you were just up like almost $1,000 on these things off of a lotto position, and you didn't sell. It was crazy. All right. But that's why I don't play them. I'm telling you, someone with experience in the swing trading game, and I've tried everything. Yeah, most people, if I can't do it after all this time, like, you know, if I can't really, you know, I get psychologically sucked in. Okay? Like, I'll sit there in awe. I'm like, oh no, this shit's gonna run. I always convince myself. I don't know how, but I'm just so used to things working out in a slower manner, I guess. I don't know. All right. Okay, guys. So we pretty much went through everything that I wanted to, you know, look over. You know, as I pointed out, Apple's really going to be the big takeaway here. I would say it's probably a pretty likely bet, a very good bet, if you're taking a long position here. in this 235 to 237 zone. I think very big odds there that you'll have a winner chicken dinner on your hands. All right. I do think it's best to stay away from Bitcoin stocks right now. MSTR, I started getting excited about it right over here, and then the thing freaking shot up on me. All right. But you know, I started getting excited about it. I put it on your radar. I was like, guys, the RSI over here, it's getting down to the spot. It was almost there. I just wanted, you know, I always happen to get in things early. I was like, let me just not do that. But maybe it's going to be like this, where you bounce a little and then you come down to it. You know, what is this, 2 weeks later? All right. That would be, yeah, right over here. So let's see it come down by like the 14th. All right. So if it happens, guys, we'll put, you know, I got my alert down here already set. I was thinking it was going to be hit. It didn't get hit. But you know, I'm keeping my eye out over there on MSTR. Coin weekly chart is super noticeable. Okay. You know, it's clear as day over here, the weekly setup here. Break and retest off of that. You held the weekly 21. You printed a nice weekly hammer candlestick. Honestly, most tickers got that nice weekly hammer candlestick, but I really do like how this is looking over here on coin. I just don't want to see this week turn into that, because then you're going to get consolidation no matter what. All right. Like, you know, it can go down, but more likely than not, if you get a close like this, you'll just trade flat for like the next week or two. And nobody likes that. So you don't want to see that. Another one I was seeing over here is CLSK. Very nice weekly candle last week. Probably are going to be catching a bit off of it. See here on the daily time frame, the RSI, it almost got into oversold territory. I was putting these on your radar down over here. I was like, guys, time to start, you know, got to be looking at these things. Yeah, I happen to have said that right before it shot up, so it didn't really give us any time to really look at them. I was thinking things were going to sell down a little bit lower. Like, look at this. Everything was setting up. Like, Riot was over here at the 0.786. But you had CLSK. You had Mara over here. Daily RSI. It would have been picture perfect to, you know, come a little bit further down there. All right. You had MSTR. This is the one I was getting ready for. All right, guys. So other than that, only thing I noticed today, we got LLY. All right. This is one that, you know, 1% green, while the whole market, pretty much my whole watch list today, besides MU and VIX and LLY and KO are red. I have a decent amount in here. That is pretty concerning. All right. But LLY, it has been holding up. So I do think this is something to keep our eyes on. I think it's probably going to get a pop one of these days. I'm going to add another alert here because it keeps getting triggered. It doesn't want to go. All right. Let's make it a little higher there. What is it doing? Where'd it go? There we go. A little bit higher, right? Above 790. We'll see it go, all right? All right, guys. So that is today's video. I hope you enjoyed my raspy, you know, little voice here. But I thought I would get a video out to the people since it didn't really hurt to talk anymore. Maybe it didn't sound the best, but I think I got some quality information out to the people. You know, I covered how to grow a small account, and I do think that will benefit a lot of people. I know a lot of people just work and they look at the stock market, like they're trading as like, you know, it's like this, not even a side hustle, but a little, you know, gamble, a little game you got going on. It's something for entertainment. You know, I think it would benefit a lot of people not to look at it like that. A lot of people can use an extra 10K coming in a month. That's pretty crazy. But what if you could get up to where, you know, one trade, all you had to do is sit on it the last 2 weeks and you got up another 30 G's off it? Well, honestly, it's pretty crazy to me. So, like, you know, I think that could benefit a lot of people. And, like, in order to get up there, you have to get out of that mindset that I was speaking about earlier of just, you know, taking so many trades and a bunch of paper cut losses, and maybe some run and some don't. And, like, at the end, you're really not going anywhere. that is a frustrating thing to have happen. All right. And I understand it. But I do, I feel you guys with trade ideas continuously every single week on this channel, no matter what. And then, I pound the absolute table on my high conviction trade ideas. The most recent one was NVDA. Nobody thought NVDA was coming up when it was at the bottom of the head and shoulders pattern. Everyone thought it was going to die and come down to 120. What did Henry Boy think? No financial advice, but I was telling everyone to put everything on it. All right. This is the one stock here that's showing the relative strength over anything in the market. The market was butt ugly, making new lows over here. What happened here? NVIDIA didn't make the new lows. Okay. What happened next? Fireworks started going off. All right. I give you so many of these trade ideas to continuously use where you can make such easy 100 to 300% gains on 2 to 3 month out calls, like I suggest. Guys, take your trading serious, and I promise you're going to be able to grow that account, and you are going to be able to, have extra money in your life. And at the end of the day, that is all anybody wants here in the market, and I am here to help with that. Okay? And I am also here to help people read charts. It's my other purpose here on YouTube. But the primary reason is I want people to make money. But I guess to make the money, you have to understand the charts that we talk about. So in a sense, you got to know how to read the charts before you can use the info to make money. I'm here to help you do both. With that being said, I'll catch y'all in the next one. I'm sorry about my voice, and peace.